So as an endgame player that clears the Spiral Abyss with max stars every patch, I decided to do a little research to see which characters are the least used to clear the Abyss, so I can try to build teams around them to hopefully get their usage rate up. So in this video, I built Genshin characters that nobody plays, and ultimately took them to the Spiral Abyss. Alright, let's take a look at the current Spiral Abyss usage rate for the current patch. So for the month of March to April, it looks like Frina, of course, is like top usage. I kind of want to look at like DPS characters that is like at 0%, which I see a few. Characters like Ningguang, Xinyan, Razor, Chongyun, and I guess a bunch of other characters. There's even like 5 stars like Albedo that's 0%, which I guess Geo isn't really that good as it is, but it's pretty surprising to see. Of course, GG is 0%. I think a lot of cryo characters are 0% because of like this current Abyss. I kind of see a few 0.2% characters that I could also use in this Abyss. The main DPS character being probably Hazel, since I do have a Hazel and I never really tried him that much. So I could definitely use him. And the second character, I'm actually not sure, because I do plan on bringing one DPS character per Abyss half and just bring supports to like support them. Let's look at the last month's Abyss. So there is a pattern I'm seeing, because I see Chi-Chi 0%, Chongyun 0%, Xinyan 0%, and I guess Razor at 0% as well. Hazel, of course, is at 0.65, so still below 1%. But just thinking about the Abyss's chamber, I think Razor could be a good candidate to help bring the statistics up. So I feel like bringing Razor and maybe Hazel is a pretty good option to showcase both of their strengths. Okay, so let me take a look at my Razor. So he is level 90, but he doesn't really have any artifacts right now. Razor usually is a physical DPS, but I feel like in this Abyss, I might just bring him as a Hyper Bloom-esque team. So let me give him the Milled Flower, which is like an elemental mastery weapon. And then artifact wise, I think I could just bring not really the physical piece, but most likely the Flower of Paradise Lost. Mostly for like the Hyper Bloom team. Artifact wise, I think this one I could bring. It does have a lot of crit damage and crit rate, but there's also some EM in it, so I think that's good. Feather, I'm kind of looking, and there's not really much. Okay, this one does have elemental mastery, so I'll probably bring this one. And then Sands, I need to bring another EM one, which I think this one is pretty good because of like the crits and energy. Perfect for Razor. And then let's see, the Goblet, I might just use an offset. As for Circlet, I do have this one. Really nice to see some crits on an elemental mastery piece. I guess as a Hyper Bloom Razor, I feel like EM is probably still the best. Even though Genshin doesn't recommend this build, it's still a pretty nice build, especially for like this Abyss. So artifact wise, I'm looking for like a good piece. I kind of feel like this one is pretty good actually. I might enhance this thing. I don't really have any wishes, maybe more crit rate. Let me see what my current stats is actually. So 33% crit rate. So it would be nice if I get more crits, I guess. Even though this is more like an elemental mastery build. But yeah, let's see. Attack percent, not really ideal. HP, alright. Come on, some crit rolls. Okay, nice. Got another 2 times. Attack again. Alright, let's see what the last stat will be. Crit rate, okay, not bad. Although I didn't roll into any crit damage, I think this is still pretty good, because attack percent gives me extra damage on my normal attack as well. I think this is still a pretty decent build. Energy might be a little bit low, but we'll see. Let me see my talents actually. Level 6 normal attack. I don't think I need my skills leveled as much since I'm planning on doing like a Hyper Bloom build. So I think this might be a good stopping point for Razor, especially with like 800 elemental mastery already. And he's level 90, so he should be able to do some good damage. And I of course have C6 Razor, so nothing really to be shocking there. Alright, let's check out the animal character that I want, which is Hazel. He is level 80 though, so I might actually get him to level 90 just for this video. But let me see what kind of weapon I could potentially put on him. I do have the Solar Pearl, but I might switch it between Wizard depending on my artifact sets. It's most likely like a 2-piece, animal damage and attack percent. But yeah, let me see though. This flower is pretty good. It has attack and crit. So let's equip this one. As for Feather, let me see. I could give maybe the Gladiator, which I do have a lot of them because this is like the most common artifacts that you see from just playing probably weekly bosses and everything. This one is pretty good. It has attack and double crit. Or I could choose to enhance this one. But yeah, I do have a lot of double crit artifacts for the gladiator pieces for sure. But let me just equip this one for now. As for sands, let me see if I have any good like VV pieces potentially. If not, then I'll probably equip like an attack percent gladiator instead. Yeah, I don't think I have many VV pieces, especially with attack percent that has double crit. So I think the safe bet is probably looking at a gladiator to see if I have anything that I could replace with. Whoa, okay. This one is actually pretty good. And Sayu is using this, so I might just kind of steal it. VV feather wise, okay, this one does have high crit rate and there is some attack percent substats as well. Let's do some quick switching here. Crit circlet, I do have this one. I actually might just change it to this one. Although this means I'm stealing off a Venti, but it's fine. Alright, last but not least, I need a goblet, which is animal damage, and I don't think I have many animal goblets. Yeah, I kind of lack double crit animal goblet, which kind of sucks. But yeah, looking at these artifacts though, I might just get some to +4 to see if I get any lucky crit rolls. Let's see. I think this one could be good if I hit crit rate, so let me just kind of get this to +4. It also depends on luck. Okay, so I got energy here. This one does have low crit damage roll, but it does have double attack, so let me just take a look. Onto mastery. All right, this one could be good if I get crit rate. HP. But yeah, obviously though, getting crit rolls are pretty rare in general, so I'm not really holding my breath. Okay. Well, that's nice, I know, but I gotta hit some crit damage for this to be good. First one is energy. Okay, this is like gonna be an energy build, I think. Yeah, I think this is already dead, but I'm just gonna get this to +20 just for fun. Kind of unfortunate though, since it's double crit, but this is why getting crit rolls are pretty rare in general. Okay, so I kind of ran out, so I'll probably have to just kind of steal an artifact from a character that I have. Which, by looking at things, it's probably going to be Wanderer's artifact. So, yoink. Alright, so yeah, now he has 2-piece, which is probably ideal for him. Even though he doesn't have that many attack. His crit rate is actually pretty high, so that's good news. That means weapon-wise, I don't think I'll be changing it as much. And of course, he is C6. Talent-wise, he's at 8, 11, and 10. I don't know if I really need to like further improve his talents, because he is pretty well built. But we'll see. I think the only thing I could improve on is probably his level. So I guess time for Rune Serpent farming. Okay, so let's test out the Hazel team first. Okay, so we got this Rune Serpent. Even though like I think normal attacks isn't really like that beneficial for Hazel, most of the damage come from skills. I think this team is still pretty good. And I did like 40k already with his skill, which is pretty good. I'm kind of interested to see how much damage he'll be able to do, especially with all the buffs. First is doing 50k, and then skill does 100k. Not sure if I got all the Eon Sun buffs though, because I'm not really moving around as much. Alright, I think it's time to try a different team for this. But the most damage I was able to do is like around 100k, which is pretty nice so far without any like, I guess, abyss buffs. Alright, another date with a Chasm Snake. Overload also does a pretty good amount of damage. Wow. My Nahida is C2 though, so I am doing like 70k hyper rooms. But yeah, this team is pretty good actually. Wow. Alright. Thankfully, I do have enough Oni Kabutos, so I do get a few more animal damage bonus just by ascending them, which is nice. Okay, so it takes like around 685 bucks to get Hazel to level 90. So yeah, finally at level 90. Attack didn't really change much, but as an animal character, there will definitely be some difference. Stats wise, I think it's around the same, except a little bit more animal damage now. So for this month's theater, I believe there's animal in there, and also Electro. So this is actually perfect for Razor and Hazel being showcased in here. With Imaginarium Theater being like a pretty good game mode to test out characters in, I think this should be good. Alright, let's see how this team fares against the theater enemies here. I am doing like a defense one though for Hazel, so hopefully this will work. Enemies are apparently easier to group though, so that's pretty good. And they kind of group the enemies up pretty nicely. And then punches does also like 80k. I don't really think I need a Shirolan here though, so it might be a waste bringing her. But so far, I don't know if it was like the Imaginarium Theater buffs that I'm getting But my Hazel's doing pretty good damage now. Like 100k easily with like the punches, especially at like the full stacks. But yeah, he's definitely impressing me though. Next boss, I probably need Shinoran here because of the Niso mechanics here. Hopefully though, I'll be able to still like break the shield, but if not, then yep, can't break a shield. Hopefully this will still be enough damage though. Definitely doing less damage because I didn't break a shield. Alright, what's the boss doing? It's going back to the middle again. Please don't put up a shield. Okay, it's running away. RNG is pretty bad here. Even if I can't get a star though, I think it's still fine. As long as I beat it on time, which is looking likely. Alright, should be good. No! It went to the middle again. That's bad. Okay, is that actually... Wow. Maybe the boss should have like put on a shield for longer. Alright, let's see how this team can perform. There are some nice soul enemies. Unsurprisingly. But I'm hoping I can destroy the shields fast. Alright. So, as for overload damage I'm doing, it's like around 38k, which is pretty nice. Might not be the best team for Razor because I don't really have like any Hydro characters here. But it still kind of works out. Yeah. Overall though, this team kind of works still. And I'm able to still get a star, which is pretty surprising. Let's try out probably the Overload team still with Ian-san and I guess Malvika now. It did say Electro characters have an advantage here, so hopefully that is still the case. Damage-wise, I am doing like pretty good. Although I do have Malvika with me and she does more damage than me. Alright. Theater is kind of just whatever. I still managed to get like 800 primos and everything completed here, which is nice. Well, this is what we've been training for. Alright, so the reason why I chose what I did is mostly because this Abyss especially has a lot of like element swirling that I could take advantage of. And Hydro is pretty much, I guess, necessary in this. The Electro boss might be a pain to deal with. But hopefully I still provide enough like elemental reaction to deal with it. Alright, Pyro 1 dead. Electro 1 pretty much taken care of as well. And damage wise, I'm doing like 70k with Hazel, which is pretty good. Alright, boss just sucked all my bursts away. But I'm getting it back. Alright, as for the second half here, let's see. I think it's okay, enemy-wise. See how much damage I'll be able to do. Some good Dendro damage, that's for sure. And with the second half being like, I guess, Dendro resisting, Hyper Bloom might not be ideal. I could also do overload damage with Razor as well, which I think could also work. Alright, Hyper Bloom I'm doing like what? 16k. Yeah, resistance is pretty annoying here. Hopefully this burst will do a good amount of damage, so maybe I'll get my 3 stars. But thankfully her first half didn't really take as long as I thought it would. But to be honest, I think getting through this chamber, I will be good for the rest of the Abyss. So this is probably the one that has like a Hyper Bloom counter. Alright, Burnjin is still doing pretty good damage as well. I'm just gonna unleash all my bursts as well since I want to get 3 stars. I actually did. Wow. Okay. Alright, let's get an attack person buff and hopefully second half will be smooth sailing still. This Abyss in particular though does have a bunch of bosses to deal with, so kind of annoying I guess. Especially with like all the enemies spawning right before the boss, which kind of takes some time as well. Now that the bosses spawn, I can finally like start doing damage. First half though, with Hazel, this is still pretty easy. Let me just get all my buffs as well. Alright, that was pretty close. Alright, spawn your minions, please. Thank you. Then I got my first 100k in Abyss as well. It's pretty good. Alright, we got the Dorito boss, which should be good enough. This team, I'm hoping at least. Okay, I'm kind of missing. This might be a little bit bad since I am missing my burst. All right, finally. I still have like 40 seconds left. As long as the boss doesn't go into hiding again, then I should be good. Don't really think I need Benes's burst here, luckily enough. Alright, this is kind of bad. Oh wait, I can charge attack. I forgot about that. Alright, that should be good. If you have Dendro, you can basically use Electro and find like the boss and instantly make it spawn. Yeah, I got my Shincho's burst as well, so hopefully that will be good for third chamber. Alright, this is the last chamber. Hopefully I don't have to reset or anything. I don't have any burst though, so it's kind of slow in the beginning. Once I get my burst back, I should be all set. So doing like 100k with my punches. So I guess that's pretty consistent at least. I think for this boss, as long as I destroy all the shields and everything, I should be doing full damage after. Alright, the second half, we do have this secret automation thing, which has a bunch of resistance when it's not like weakened. So damage wise, I am doing like less for sure, even with like my Nahida being able to crit her Hyper Blooms and Burn damage. I'm just hoping that I can do this jump, which will happen pretty much like always, unless you can one-shot this boss, which in Abyss, I don't think it's even possible. Worst part though is that this boss also takes your reactions. I have 1 minute. Don't think I found the ledge. Okay, it's over here. Alright, hear me out. This jump is actually pretty challenging. So I decided to do some practice outside of Abyss in hopes of mastering it. This jump is honestly the same as learning to ride a bicycle for the first time. You struggle a lot in the beginning, but after some repetition and practice, you just get used to it and you'll pretty much have it down consistently. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same jump in the Abyss. So in the Abyss, I did manage to jump up thanks to my practice. Failed. Failed. Too much stress. Oh. I have 50 seconds. Not sure if that's enough time. Sadly, I still ran out of time to get the 3 stars in this chamber. During the next run, I hit a jump immediately with a good amount of time left. So hopefully this will be the 3-star run. Alright, first try. Oh, got it. That was literally calculated. And now, especially with Vanessa still having all a burst, I do have a good chance of 36 starring now. Uh-oh. That's kind of bad. He kind of ran out of her burst though, in the middle of that rotation, which kind of made it a little bit awkward. And now that the boss kind of stole my reactions, it's getting from bad to worse. And I also missed that. Uh-oh. That was literally perfect. Unfortunate. It might be nerves, but over my next few attempts, I kept failing the jump. Okay, I missed. Alright, it's over. Even if I did successfully jump up, a lot of runs failed because I ran out of time. Come on, Shincho, get his burst back. Okay. 10 seconds. Let's do that again. What? Is that too slow? I don't know. Finally, the stars aligned and I got my best run yet. As long as I get my burst back, I should be good. Okay, so this is the jump I need to make. Okay, second jump, second try. I'm hoping that's enough though. Now I just gotta do as much damage as possible. which might be kind of difficult, but I still have like over a minute left. And Hyper Bloom, I'm doing like 42k right now because like this boss does have some kind of weakness when it's like in this sloggy state. All right, 1 more minute. RNG wise, I think so far it's okay. I'm just kind of scared that the boss is gonna like run away again, which it won't be ideal for me because I'm kind of relying on like my Hyper Bloom damage, and if it runs away, then I might need to like hope I can make the jump again. But we still have like 15 seconds left. Okay. I don't know if I can brute force this. It's kind of running away. Okay. Wow. But yeah, ultimately though, I don't really know how to like register my character in here. But just pretend Razor is like 0.1% now, and I guess Hazel is like 1%, hopefully. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you also play a character that nobody else plays, let me know which character it is in the comments below. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to watch more, check out my free-to-play challenge where I farmed 30 days straight on a brand new Genshin account by clicking on the video here. And I'll see you there.